Hello, everyone. It's Lili Berry chatting for the faction. And today I have South Australian sensational guitarist, who you will know for his wizard level YouTube covers, has just released his first taste of solo music, Keyan Hushmand. Welcome, Keyan.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
My
Appreciate it.
absolute pleasure. Now, your watchers and subscribers have had a bit of an idea that solo music was always coming. Now that Gradient is almost here and Black is out, how are you feeling?
It's a great question. At the moment, I think I'm like, because you've been working on it for so long and like you've had it as an idea for so long, you just want it to be out there and kind of just let everyone see it. Like this stuff has been on the back burner for like over 6 months now, like ready to go. So I'm just really, now that's like a week and a bit away, I'm just itching for it to get out just so I can finally, get the response that I'm hoping for, I guess.
Well, have you had a similar response to your covers for the first single, Black? Like, how has that been for you?
Yeah, so with the covers and stuff, there were definitely a couple of people that I got in touch with that I know do great covers on YouTube. My friend Jacob from Queensland, another Australian guitarist, he was kind enough to do one. And yeah, there was just so many good responses for that clip. And I always knew that that was going to be the single because that's, I guess, what people are expecting of me in terms of, the content that I produce, like mainly modern metal guitar and stuff like that. And I do enjoy that style of playing. I do enjoy that style of music, but this EP is a little bit of everything. So that one being the single was definitely very intentional, just to get a bit of hype and buzz going as you do. And yeah, I think that's the one that people are expecting to hear from me. There are songs that are similar, but that's definitely like the heaviest one on the record for sure.
Awesome. Well, I mean, personally, I cannot play an instrument to save myself. So when I watch your videos or I listen to your music, I'm just in awe. Like, where did this
Thank
love
you.
for no, thank you for being so talented. Where did this love of playing the guitar begin for you?
Great question. So when I was 5, my uncle gave me a guitar for my birthday, just like one of those like nylon string acoustic ones. I've got it somewhere. It's not in here. I think it's in the shed packed away.
That is so
Um,
wholesome.
yeah. And like ever since then, it was just like I just started playing and I just didn't put it down. It wasn't like I got forced to play or anything. I genuinely wanted to play. And I was always like a big music fan, like, dancing to Michael Jackson at birthday parties when I was 3 and stuff like that. So I guess it kind of evolved from that. But yeah, I mean, there's been major influences across the years, like that moment there, and then like getting my first electric when I was 6, and going to tabs instead of sheet music, that was a big one. And even things like Guitar Hero, honestly, like that was a big one in terms of like getting into the heavier stuff. That was like my gateway into all that stuff for sure.
I can totally relate. Like Guitar Hero was a bit of an addiction for me. I
Absolutely.
can't relate to translating that to being talented, but I can relate to the need
Yeah,
and the want to play. Like, yeah, only video game I've ever
absolutely.
been good at.
No, I love it. Apparently there's talks that it's coming back, so I'm keen.
I'm super duper for that. Please, if you're
Yeah.
hearing Guitar Hero, we are in support. Um,
Absolutely.
for me personally, I found my way into this heavy music world a lot from the lyrical content. So before I even really understood what I was singing along with, I feel like it was the words that helped me feel like kind of this part of like a misfits or outlaw community in a way, I guess. But
Right.
that
Yeah,
being
yeah.
said, when I listened to your EP, I had such a huge emotional response to your songs, especially the second half of the track Grey, like the way that it builds and it just gets really melodic and beautiful. And I was listening to it going, how does this have no words? And I'm having such a beautiful emotional response to it. So I guess my question is, do you write from an emotional place? Like, is that the kind of response that you're hoping to convey from people?
It's really interesting that you brought that up because I specifically remember like when I was writing that half of that song, I was like, all right, this is going to be like the big one, like the big emotional kind of thing. So like make the solo like really melodic and emotional and stuff like that. Because it is hard when you don't have lyrics. I've never been like a big lyrics guy. Like I do appreciate them obviously, and I do know what they're saying and I do listen to them, but I can jam with an instrumental piece just as much as I can with the lyrics. Like it doesn't need vocals for me to be like, oh, okay, this is like a proper song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So trying to like get that kind of feel into instrumental work is a little bit challenging, but it sounds like it kind of worked from your words. So I'm
100%
glad. Like
did.
most of it comes from like the overall like motif of the record. When people listen to it, they'll probably notice that at the end of that song Grey, which is the last song, there's a couple like callbacks to earlier moments in the previous songs and stuff, like
Oh,
fitting it in that context,
I
in that
picked them
BPM.
up, and that's my favorite thing that musicians do, is when they can like bring in moments from previous songs into another one. Like it blows my mind.
Yeah, I love that as well. Like a big influence of that was one of the Periphery albums. I think it was the double album they did, the concept one, Alpha Omega. That
Yep.
because it's a
Yep.
concept album, they're just constantly like pulling melodies from different songs. And yeah, that was a huge one. And I was like, wow, I want to do that in my own music. So I kind of found a way to do it a little bit differently. And yeah, just rolled with it. But I'm super happy that, you know, the idea that I was trying to get across at least conveyed to someone. So it's good.
100% it did. What's the sort of songwriting process like for you? Like, do you lay out like, this is what I want it to be, and like, this is my heavier track, this is this, or you know, how do you get it to come to a piece, I guess?
Right. So I guess it's a little bit different in terms of like writing an actual song. The way that generally most of them come about is that I have like a riff that I've either had for a while, I've just written it then and just played it. I'm like, oh, hang on, what was that? And then, can I swear? Or
Oh, please go for it. I believe
because I was like, oh, like what the fuck was that? When I go back and play it again, I'm like, oh, that's actually really cool. And then I'll kind of, you know, just relearn that, play it over and over and over, and then from that one riff, just kind of extrapolate a whole song out of it.
yes.
But in terms of like the overall conceptual kind of thing with the whole gradient thing and stuff like that, it more so started with the idea of that nothing is black and white, everything is gray, from everything from the artwork, which I actually have here. So this got done by a local artist in Adelaide. Her name's Sarah Marticanage. She goes under the handle of Zema Art. She's really, really good. And she does a lot of these like acrylic pours. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, that'd be perfect for like the concept of everything of like the black, white, and gray kind of like mixing in together. So from that, I guess the natural kind of response was like, all right, black is like pretty dark, you know, gritty as a color. So let's do that as the heavy track. And, you know, white is like, you know, whatever pure. So let's do it as like the happier track. And then gray can be the marriage between both. So that's what that came from. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? Like, without even knowing that from you, I fully picked that up. Like, I listened and I was like, damn, this is grungy, this is heavy. Like, listened to White and was like, wow, what a change of pace. And then, you know, like I said before, like picking up that build in Grey, and then also like the pieces from the other two popped into it. Like, I mean, without you even having to explain it, as someone who is like not a musician whatsoever, I picked all of that up.
Oh, okay, beautiful, beautiful.
Really, really, really enjoyable to listen to.
Thank you.
I feel like we're seeing a bit of a rise of this, you know, music only, like with bands like Polyphia exploding. They're getting on tours with the likes of Architects. Is touring something that you see in your future or hope for yourself?
I hope so, because I just spent a lot of money on a in-ear monitoring rig. So because there is plans to like go interstate and stuff like that. And that was definitely going to be a thing. But with the whole borders and stuff, it's a little bit difficult. But hopefully sometime in the near future that does happen. You know, I'd love to be like able to, you know, go interstate, perform these songs. We have a whole set organized. There's like a launch show happening on the 18th of March in Adelaide at the Lion Arts Factory. So me, my drummer, and my bassist, we've planned a 9-song set. So we have stuff ready to go. It's just like when we're allowed to, or when it's like monetarily feasible to actually like go interstate without 100%. Getting yeah.
You're like sitting in the wings, like, come on, someone say go.
Literally. Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Well, it's like you can read my mind, because that was going to be my next question. Like, you know, you're debuting the EP live, Lion Arts Factory next month, 18th of March. What's it like for you to prepare for a live show versus your usual at-home content?
Oh, it's so much more work. So much more work. It's ridiculous. Like, obviously, like videos and stuff, I guess it's like there is a lot of setup work, like, getting angles right on the camera, lighting, editing takes so long. And like writing demo songs for little demos and stuff like that, that takes time, obviously. But in terms of like planning out a whole live show, like everything from, the whole rig of like having in-ear monitors, typical me, like I just want to have it as professional as possible, everything running on rails, no matter how hard it is to set all that stuff up. It is being done, like it is very much underway. But in terms of like, getting a set list going, practicing, setting up scene changes on all our hardware so we don't have to tap dance on stage, getting an audio mixer organized, getting lights organized on the night. Like there's so many different things. Photography, the tickets, like there's so many hats you need to wear. But it is good fun. And I know that hopefully at this stage, I'm not even worried about what I'm playing on stage because we've practiced it so much and we're so confident of what we're playing. We're more worried about like a technical failure or something like that. So praying that nothing goes wrong on the night. It'll be very satisfying when all of that comes together. People were saying to live stream it as well. People say, oh, you should probably live stream it. I mean, like there will be people that watch it.
So, just add more technology.
Yeah, exactly right. And then that's another bunch of moving parts. Like, oh, okay, like, do I want multi-camera setup? Like, what if the Wi-Fi interferes with my wireless signal in my headphones on stage? Like, there's so many things to think about. But yeah, maybe the live stream thing can literally just be a camera at the back of the venue, and I'll try get like an audio mix from the mixer or something and call it a day. But we'll figure that out. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it for sure.
Nice. Are you feeling like there's a level of nerves, or are you probably more excited?
Definitely more excited. Awesome. As I said, yeah, the nerves aren't coming from like the playing aspect. Yep. It's more about like a technical failure or something like that. Because every time I listen to a podcast or watch a video of like bands that I really like talking about their live experiences, like, oh, well, this night, this fucked up and then that stuffed up. And it's like, oh no, like now I need to make sure that that doesn't happen. And some of it, like you literally just can't avoid, like things will break. So let's just hope that that doesn't happen. Touch wood. But
honestly, it's like you can trust in technology so much, but at the end of the day, it's got a mind of its own. It's going to do what it does. But exactly, I will, like, as someone who goes to a lot of live shows, when I meet up with artists after they've performed, I'm like, that was amazing. They're like, this was half a second out, or I screwed up here. And like, as a novice myself, like we never notice, and you'll be your own harshest critic, but I can tell you like 99% of people wouldn't even pick it up.
Okay, beautiful. Oh, I'm hoping so anyway, because like I think for this first show, the way it's panning out, because it's like my first show, a lot of it's going to be, and it's local, a lot of it's going to be friends and family, which like obviously they're to support, but they're not very like inclined in like heavy music and all the intricacies of everything and stuff like that. So I guess like this is a good way to kind of like soft launch everything to see if anything goes wrong. And if it does, it'll be fine because like mum will be cheering anyway, whatever. So
I love it. Well, Keyan's debut EP, Gradient, is out Feb 25th. You can check out lead single Black playing now on The Faction and all streaming platforms. Thank you so much for joining us, Keyan, and good luck with the show.
Thank you. This was great. I really enjoyed it. Thanks.
My pleasure.